On the stage, Phil Henderson!
Phil Henderson!
Come on, Phil Henderson.
Come on, Phil!
Start the clock.
So I recently moved next to one of those tube stations where they blast out classical music late at night. And I found out that the reason they do this is to prevent violent crime. And I also found out that that doesn't work. But what it does do, I've discovered, is when you're getting the shit kicked out of you. It's wonderfully cinematic. It's lovely. Some of you might have noticed that I've got a moustache. Having a moustache is all right most of the time, apart from in November, when people assume you've grown it for charity. Just to be clear, I didn't grow this to raise awareness of men's mental health issues. This is a men's mental health issue. I grew this last year 100% genuinely because I saw a picture of Henry Cavill, the actor that plays Superman, with a moustache, and I thought, that looks amazing. I'm 34 years old and I grew a moustache to look more like Superman. That's healthy. Worst part is his moustache looks much better than mine, and I've worked out why. It's because his moustache is on Henry Cavill's face. Mine very much isn't. Although I was told recently that mine makes me look like an alcoholic Ned Flanders. Which wasn't the look I was going for. I shouldn't compare myself to Henry Cavill. He's a very beautiful man, isn't he? Sorry, I should tell you all a little bit about my sexuality, if that's all right with you. I wouldn't normally mention it on stage. I don't think it's relevant, but I've had a few people ask me recently. They've said, Phil, is it all right to refer to you as a gay comedian? Is that an appropriate term? Or is it perhaps more suitable just to refer to you as a comedian who happens to be gay? And I think that's a really interesting question, because I'm straight. That's not 100% true. I'm actually what's referred to as straight-ish. I'm straight-ish. The ish part of that word, that sometimes makes men uncomfortable. I had a very aggressive guy approach me after a gig recently. He went, come on, mate, make your fucking mind up. You're straight or you're gay, what are you into? I was like, whoa. Look, I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't really like to be pigeonholed, but I'm up for everything else. He didn't like that. He wasn't keen on that. Something else I should tell you is I've not been very well recently. It's nothing contagious, but I did have to go to the doctor's at the weekend. And I said, doctor, I feel like a pair of curtains. Mainly because I feel like I'm responsible for a lot of darkness in people's lives. And I also think I'll be found hanging in my bedroom one day. Ooh. And he said, pull yourself together. Because that's the level of mental health care we get on the NHS, isn't it? To be fair to that doctor, he did run some additional tests to make sure everything was all right, and I'm very sorry to say that I've been diagnosed with the big C, dyslexia. Devastating. But it's not all doom and gloom in my life. I actually went on a date with a lovely lady last night, and we ended up having sex. No biggie, that's what she said. But no, I think sex on the first date's the best, isn't it? It's new, it's exciting, you're just getting to know each other, but you've got to have safe sex. You have to have safe sex, like we did. We didn't use a condom or anything, but we were both vaccinated. AstraZeneca, safe enough, innit? We're very lucky in the UK. People forget we got the vaccine rolled out really quickly over here. My date, she was telling me she was one of the people that was lucky enough to get the vaccine quite early on, because she's 93. So she got it earlier. Nothing wrong with that, Clem. Nothing wrong with that. As far as I'm concerned, if you're vaccinated and you're a patriot, you should be out there fucking pensioners. And I'll tell you why. They've had a tough couple of years, haven't they, the pensioners? Tough couple of years. And also, let's be honest, a lot of them have become single recently. Glass half full, do you know what I mean? Now, in all seriousness, though, I'm very glad to be vaccinated. I was terrified about getting COVID and losing my sense of smell. It's not a big deal for a lot of people, but if I lost my sense of smell, it'd be like losing a superpower. I'll give you an example. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning because I could smell smoke. I thought my house was on fire. Now, fortunately, it turned out to just be my next-door neighbour's house on fire. It was a relief.
Phil Henderson, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, finalist number 2. 2 in a row.
Great stuff. There we go.
So where was I? My next-door neighbour's house was on fire. That was it, yeah. And I could smell the smoke, and it was lucky that I did, because they didn't know. They were still asleep inside the house. What was that, mate? How come I could smell the smoke and they couldn't? It's a great question. I've got a condition called hypernosmia. You probably all know that if you lose one of your senses, your other senses become stronger, right? Well, this is what happened to me. I was in an accident a few years ago, and I lost one of my senses, but as a result, incredible sense of smell. Anyway, 4 a.m. this morning, I smell the smoke, and I'm panicking. I'm thinking, I've got to get my neighbours out there. I've got to call the fire brigade or something. Unfortunately, the sense that I lost was my sense of urgency. By the time I'd showered...
Phil Henderson, ladies and gentlemen.